I recently posted the best and most magical video that I'll probably ever make, and tens of millions of people were left scratching their heads over how it was done. And not a single person has completely figured it out. But today, I'm going to reveal the secrets about how I made it. But first, let's check out the video. These are the 10 types of magic. Levitation, vanish, production, transformation, transposition, penetration, restoration, escape, teleportation, and prediction. Now pause here if you want to guess how it was done. Okay, so I'm not a magician. I can't do any of this live. It's obviously editing and camera trickery. But to understand how it was edited, you have to understand how it was filmed. And luckily, I captured an overview of the filming. So let's watch me filming the video. I'll describe what's happening, and then after, I'll spoil all the secrets. Okay, here's the overview of me filming. You can see that there is a balloon to the side just off camera. There's a mug floating on a rig, and there's a script in front of me because I have to keep checking what I have to say. It's usually at this point I'm panicking because it's so complicated, what I have to say, what I have to do, and the actions are just so specific. But let's watch, and I'll tell you what's happening.
These are the 10 types.
Okay, so I start.
Magic.
I pretend to float a mug and grab it out of the air. Vanish it. I have my wife come in, grab it, remove it.
Vanish.
Vanish. I pretend to produce a mug. Again, I have my wife drop it into my hands. I throw it to the other hand. We do a mug to balloon swap.
Transformation.
I grab a pencil. Just out of screen or out of frame. We do a switch.
Transposition.
I pretend to stab it into a balloon. And we swap it for a balloon that has a pencil stabbed through it.
Penetration.
We swap out the pencil balloon for a pencil and a deflated balloon. You can see me fumbling there. I almost lost it. Okay, we swap the deflated for a full balloon.
Restoration. Escape.
I pretend to pinch something out of it, and we drop in the note. I ditch the balloon, that's why I had the cup there. We do the note swap.
Teleportation.
And from there, it's smooth sailing. I just have to open it, and I had a little arrow on the piece of paper to tell me how to open it and show it correctly. As you can see, there are 9 times when I freeze, have my wife swap an object, and then I continue. So did you see any of those 9 cuts in the video? I hope not. Here's a clip of how I set up everything for my wife. There's a note card for each freeze describing exactly what to do, and then all of the spare props are within reach. The first trick had to be the levitating mug, because the only way to do it was to pretend that it was in my hand off the start, levitate it, and then to grab it secretly off a suspended rig. So there's a magnet inside the mug. It was just lightly magnetized to a steel post. And to get that fake mug into my hand, I filmed it on a green screen and slowly moved it through the path of dropping and then levitating, just so I could grab those frames and you'd feel the real rotation of it. Otherwise, it would just be, a frozen image floating around like this. Basically, everything after the floating mug is done by me doing an action, freezing, having the props swapped out, and then continuing the action. I'm especially proud of the pencil through the balloon. And we did that by me pretending to stab a balloon with a pencil, and then we swapped it for a balloon I had made that had a stick inside of it, and then I actually just super glued the tips of a pencil to the outside of the balloon. Now, unfortunately, while I was filming, the stick inside the balloon actually twisted and got out of line, so the pencil doesn't actually line up with the stick inside. And you can see that in the video if you look really close. I tried to hide it, but that's the one mistake that made it in. Okay, that's it for the big physical stuff. And now we can take a look at the editing, and I'll show you how I used AI to take those 9 times that I froze and make them completely invisible. Here is my Adobe After Effects project file for this video, and I'll keep things pretty general. We'll just look at a few fun little things that I did. And the first is that you can see my timeline at the bottom here. We scroll down, this is the entire video, and it has 100, 140, 168 layers. So off the start, the mug is of course fake. Let's take a look at that. Here is the fake mug keyed into my hand. We take the effect off. You can see that it's in fact green screen behind it, taken out. And then I hand animated the mug every single frame, so tracking it along with my hand position. So I animated that mug upward until it matched the position exactly of the mug that was on the rig. And you can see all the gear is right here in the shot. And what I did was just cover it up, so you never know. All right, to understand how I used AI to create this, let's take a look at one of the freeze frame tricks. And there's 9 of them. What I'm doing is just cutting out the time that I freeze. And one of the biggest problems about freezing and then continuing is that the tilt of my head might change, my facial expression might shift just a bit. And I know that's where people are probably going to be looking, so it's crucial that my face smoothly transitions over that cut. And that's where AI comes in. So I would grab a frame from before the cut, a frame from after, and run it through an AI interpolation software. And we can jump into the project here and just grab a clip that I made. I'll play this. It's so short, but what it is, it's that frame before, frame after, and I'm blending with AI. So you can see my hands look terrible, but I'm only using it for the face. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the AI blending. Now let's turn off the AI layers and see what it looks like. Okay, so all I've done is hide 3 AI generated layers. Let's watch this. Not terrible. You can see that massive jump. And that was the shift in my head while I was freezing. It must have been drifting back. So something as simple as adding 3 frames can make that jump invisible. Let's take a look at the pencil stabbing through the balloon. When I stab through it, this pencil I had to fake, so that's made up. And then you can see as I come over here, this is the stick inside the balloon that got misaligned. And then when I show the balloon to camera, I had to hide. So when I play this, without hiding it, you see that there's clearly a stick inside the balloon poking, but it happens very quickly, and I was able to hide it with a little blend layer. Lastly, let's talk about the shirt. And I think this is honestly the easiest thing to do, because I specifically wore a bluish green shirt that I could key very easily and just do a color shift over the minute of the video. And it's done in a really clever way, and this might be getting too deep into the editing side of it, but what I did was I actually keyed out the shirt. So there's a version of it, the entire thing with the shirt gone, and then underneath it, I just changed the color of the entire video. So I'm turning more green. And then when you put that layer back on, especially over here, you can see that it adds everything back in except the shirt. That might be a little complicated, too technical, but the point is that for the shirt, I basically just said blue and then slid it to green. Yeah, that's it. That is a breakdown of how I made the 10 types of magic.